Cześć, ja nazywam się Paweł Buczek, witaj na kanale Na Muchę. Rzeka Mawddach, w końcu łososie, stąd taka wielka, długa wędka łososiowa. Wybrałem się tutaj z Johnem, wędkowaliśmy tutaj w zeszłym roku we wrześniu i ja obiecałem sobie, że na pewno tu wrócę, więc przyszła wiosna, jestem. Jak mi poszło, sami ocencie. Serdecznie zapraszam. Good morning, John.
Morning, bud. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm well. You?
I'm okay, Ta.
Prep for the salmon?
The salmon.
You think there will be any?
Well, salmon.
Which salmon? I think there will be some. I'll keep a finger crossed. Last time we fished it here in September, so now it's in May. We decide to come in here try once again. That was luck.
I was hoping to be able to see him again. That was what I wanted.
Yeah, and I hope I will be caught them salmon eventually. If not here, I will be looking on the other place. I always say to myself, I wish to try once again. I don't give up. That is salmon.
That's him.
Puff, that is salmon. That you try to catch it this year.
Yeah.
The name of that river when we go into it is Mawddach. That's the one, and it's well nearby to Dagetli. I think it belongs to Dagetli Anglo Association. Am I right?
Yeah. You can get a day ticket.
Yeah, we can get it.
Try in their water. Usually, the reason we saw him before was because we came at high tide, and all the fish that were in the bay had come up and have a sniff at the river to see if there was enough water on for him to carry on up. And that day there wasn't, and I don't think there will be today because it's very, very low. It's lower than we came last time.
Well, yeah, it is, but a minute. The water is dropping now because it's a low tide. Plenty of white garlic everywhere. Smell really strong. Really strong. Beautiful surrounding. And the river is right on the end. Probably we got like 1 mile of walking.
It's
on
swings round. Comes round
yeah, I do.
And joins up with the other one.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name of the other one, can you?
I do. No, sorry. Really, I can't remember. I think it's the same named, but that is a river, and the other one is a...
something like the Whittle or something like
maybe.
the Wimble.
In the springtime, the small tiny lambs, they look such a beautiful. The tiny ones, and long tails. We're going right in the corner, right there. I see the small tiny bridge. But my question here is, John, that is a cow or bull? Because he's looking on me. Yeah, now I see it's a cow. She got such a beautiful lashes. Whoa. Scary a little bit sometimes. But them cows, they're much more scared than I am. I remember last year there was that river much higher than when it's now. There wasn't so big island like it's. Now we can cross it to the island to the other side without even getting so much. Yeah. When you come in high tide, the water is well close to the bank. At the moment it's well low, but later on when they come in high tide, it's worth to come in on the other side and try to put it through the fly on the really big pool, which is right on the front of it. But at the moment there's no sense because the water is still dropping down. Last year it was come well too early and there was a high tide, and we stood there on the top of the bridge and there was water up to our foot, and he was wait probably like 2 hours until the water will drop. But this time I checked it where is the tides, so you're right on time. Wow, lovely river, well clean. I see the fish there, right there. See him? I think it's a chub.
It's a trout.
You reckon?
Yeah, square tail. It's a trout.
Hey, there you go. I'm going first because I know later on there will be plenty of water there. So I try to go in there in the corner, go higher and let the John fish right behind me under. Probably will be making lots of splash with the salmon, but there will be any on the other side of the bank. It's well deeper than here, so I will be trying to look in the fish there. I remember last year we see the salmon jump under this tree there was so high water. Now I can see the whole tree, including roots. I see some fish movement there. There can be something small. Or salmon will be done hold it in the small tiny pools like that. I will be really looking. Oh, he said plenty of sea trouts here. John was expected there will be plenty of sea trouts, and there they are, right on the front of me. It's like 30 or 40 there. So there must be them interested. Take it something from the top. Yeah, they are there. Just on the front of me is a deep pool. And I try to cast to it there. Oh, the water going well slow. It's not a fast running water. So I really doubted they will be able to catch any salmon today. But I still want to try. You remember last year that water was much more quicker than it is now. That on the front of me is well deep. It's only one pool where I remember it. I think we need to wait a little bit longer until the water will be start rise. I know I'm splashy. But you reckon there will be any salmon anywhere? Doubt it, it's too low. Pardon?
Not within 100 miles.
No, I know, it's too low water at the moment. September when we fished it here, there was plenty of jumping around. Now dead. Deadless.
Completely dead.
Well, I see the couple sea trouts. I can't say completely dead. But I mean, I completely unprepped I am for it. Because they are small tiny fish, like a trout size. I did see the flounder. I nearly step on it. Yeah, I can't. Not on the fly what I got on my rod. That was really small tiny one, but he flew off. Well surprised that stone like that can go so quick. At least one of us who got a chance to catch some fish. Because I'm hopeless. But you know what, at least the water is clean. Time to move a little bit. On that pool nothing's going on. And he's too shallow. Only one place what I know is quite deep on the other side. But here I can cross it, that's how I did. But that place when John's standing is quite deep there, so I go into the stratum a little bit. Looks like it. I need to wait until the autumn comes to try again. I don't want to give up, but there's no movement anywhere in the water.
When the rivers are this low, yeah?
Yeah.
You haven't got any push through.
Yeah.
Okay? So you chuck a fly in, it's coming upstream. You see?
Yeah, I do.
It's coming upstream instead of going down.
Yeah.
This river isn't coming up yet with the tide.
No, not. It's just there will be a little bit lower. See, going down a little bit, yeah.
But there's not enough through push to push our fly around at all.
Yeah, we're looking for. Yeah, looking for that.
A foot of water on this.
Yeah,
If we had another foot on here,
would be perfect.
stand
To be honest, I was expecting a little bit more water because I always thought, you know, all the rivers was going right to the sea. They are much more bigger because from all the direction flowing to the sea. But I can be wrong.
They're dry.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, we're passing by today, and I was thinking when we're passing by them bridges today, see them rivers, I said, oh Lord, they come well dry.
They are. And that's it. That's all the streams have dried up because we haven't had any rain for a month. And if you've got no rain for a month, what can you do? You know, you can't really expect them to be pushing through.
True.
Fish will still come up into here at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah.
They won't go.
They will be going down there. He's still not enough water for
Come
them.
here, stay here for a bit and go back out again. Because there's nothing coming through. They
Well-
know it's not big enough for him to get up to up the stream.
Yeah, that's I was thinking. You know, there will be a tide, so I got hope when they will be coming the high tide. Dad will be off to just hunting on them to try to trap them.
Spin for them.
I don't know. I'm not really, spinner person.
But that's the only way. Because you've got to make your own flow.
Yeah.
We're reliant on the tide to go round and pull our flies in front of them. Whereas a spinner, you can chuck it and wind really fast and it'll come round.
Yeah.
We can't do that with a fly. I'll pass still try in here. got more staying power than me. The river's very low, and because of that there's no real flow for us to use the flies properly, salmon flies. And the wind is blowing upstream, which makes things very, very difficult, because every cast you do is getting blown around, so you're pretty much having to fish the wrong way. He's getting it out, but the salmon won't run. They won't run unless there's flow coming down the river. So even though we had quite a nice big high tide, they'd have come up this far, realised there was no fresh water for them to go into, not much chance for them getting further upstream, and just gone back on the tide, back to the estuary to wait for a bit of flow. So Pav's having fun. He loves casting that big 14-foot rod of his, and he's managing even in this horrible wind, but it didn't think we stand much of a chance. Lovely surroundings though, couldn't wish for a better place to be. Oh, he's managing. Yeah. He's managing. Yeah. Even though it's windy as hell and the river's not pushing against you enough.
Well disappointed. I was thought there would be a little bit more. Disappointed, I would be say. I would be trying it here again, but this time I probably come back in September time, like we did previously. Got more sense, to be fair. But in September there were so many leaves in the water. Oh Lord, every couple casts I remember I would just need to clean the fly because there was so much of it. Eventually I find out what's the name of the river. Union. That is the Mawddach, that is the Union. Union. So that is a Mawddach, that's a Union. Yep. We was looked at here last time. Do you remember? Yeah. Over the fence. The river looked such a fantastic, was so high on that day, and there was such a big pool. I wonder it's still there. Shall we have a sniff? Chain fence and the minefield. Is there plenty of poo everywhere? You notice them rivers nearby to the seaside, they have no wheat in the water. No. Just plenty of stones, but no wheat. It's crystal clear, though. Yeah. It is not bad river, but I couldn't see any.
It's because of the salt water.
Yeah, that's how I would think it of.
You can't cope with salt water.
Yeah. When it's high tide, that water, that island all over, yeah, it is well covered. Yeah. Right up to the trees. Yeah, you're right.
So the only thing that can live in it are things that are used to the sea, like flounders or mullets or
I did see the flounders twice. Yeah, once I nearly step on it, and second he was seeing me from the distance. I see it just flew whoo, in the water, flat like a pancake.
See under the trees and that?
Yeah.
In the daytime, that's where the sea trout hold
Oh
up.
yeah. All the fish will be the big one, especially they will be standing right under the and wait until something will be fall off from the trees.
And then when it starts to flow again, the sea trout will come up and travel up this.
Yep.
You see that the fast water down there is only about that deep.
Yep.
Sea trout will travel in that.
No, I know that doesn't need it. Yeah, the sea trout doesn't need lots of water. I know.
And they'll come up and they'll hide in these spots under there, and then at night time they come out and they will feed. I mean, salmon don't feed in the river system, and sea trout will. And they'll take little tiny blue teal and blue flies, or little butchers or bloody butchers, and you used to be able to have some great sport with them, but at the moment I think it's just too low. It ain't worth coming at night and try it.
Yeah, but I mean, we got quite a long journey. It was take it down 2.5 hours to get it here.
To get here, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a long
probably would be needed looking to stay here overnight to do the night fishing here. But I mean, the water at the moment is well low, well low.
The thing is it's really clear or clean. Yeah, lovely clear clean water, but we actually had more chance when we were on the rivers that were running muddy.
Yeah, I know that.
Weird.
I seen it there.
Saw the salmon jump out.
I didn't, but I did see some sea trouts.
Yeah.
I did see quite of them.
The There's a lot of bug life, isn't there?
But I know, but look at that. It's May, and you can't see any mayfly yet.
I haven't seen
In the mountains, it's like a 1 month behind. Yeah.
That's why we still got wild garlic here, and it's gone at home.
Yeah, it is indeed.
Yeah.
Hello everyone.
Hey guys.
John, river is beautiful, but I think we are much too early. In September time when we fished the last time, there was plenty of salmon jumping around, and the last couple of weeks when we had no rain, or if there was just a little bit, the river here is much lower than I expected, and is not enough flow.
No.
Maybe that's why we were so unsucceed today, but I really like it anyway. I had a fantastic time having play with the 14-foot rod, double-handed.
Yeah. You love casting.
I do. I absolutely love it. This is something different to me when I never have a chance to use it, because nearby it is small tiny rivers when no one sees salmon ever there.
We're hopeful that one day the whale will come back.
Yeah,
If it would, we could come and have a real try at it, and then, you know, you get a lot of use out of that rod. It is a great thing to do.
Yeah,
Spey
it is.
casting is fun, especially when you begin to get it right.
Yeah.
But it's much more fun if you've got fish in front of you.
Oh, no doubt by that.
Yeah.
I know. It's just when I see the first time in September, so many fish jumped. I did promise myself, springtime I will be there. Try it again.
If it had 2 weeks of rain, I think we'd have had. You might have been fishing in front of a salmon.
Yeah, and I think too.
I think it's too early for sea trout
Much too early. I did see some. I think personal that is a chub, but the chub don't survive in the salted water.
No.
So there must be a sea trout.
Yeah, there was a little trout. I don't say it was a sea trout, but I think it was probably a brown trout, because they will come and go down there.
You reckon?
Because that's all a sea trout is a brown trout that goes out to sea to feed. So they'll come down and around and back out again. So they'll come and have a bit of a sniff. But I think they were just trout.
Yeah, I did definitely see some fish. So back again, probably September. Yeah.
Have a look at it. Yeah, have a look when it's all water.
Yeah. Tie the lines, everyone.
Cheers, guys.
GoPro, stop recording.